Hey YouTube, good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. It's been a little while since I've done a car chronicles, so come on in. We'll see if the notifications will go out. Come on in. I have some things I want to talk about. I've been kind of quiet the last few weeks. So come on in. Let's talk. Let's catch up. Let's talk about it. Like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Purple Olive, how are you? I'm well, thank you. Uh, got some things I want to talk about. Haven't been on here in a little bit. Had to take a break. A lot's been going on. Um, a lot's been going on, and it's like, where do you start? Where do I start? Where do you start? How are you feeling? So, I want to do a temperature check, see how people are feeling, because I know how I've been feeling. I've kind of been like all over the place with thoughts, emotions, because there's so much going on. I think the thing for me that really kind of took it over the top was when Charlie Kirk, that whole situation. Child, as if we needed anything else. I did. I just came off of a vacation. So I was in California, San Diego. So much needed vacation. Good morning, Virtuous. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I took a break, but there's been a lot going on. And already, prior to the whole Charlie Kirk situation, I was kind of pretty active regularly out here, but I was still starting to feel kind of like a shift, a change. And I really was seeing it when it came to like this platform and my content and my messaging and the circulation of it. And I saw how YouTube just kind of wasn't here for my message anymore. I took notice of that because, listen, what they say, the numbers don't lie unless you somewhere in the lab just fudging them. But YouTube started kind of playing with my lives and sending out notifications, circulating the content, things like that, because I kind of shifted my messaging. And if you've been around watching my channel since, I will call you day ones, if you've been around going back to February, anywhere from February to April, when I first came on this platform, it was heavy pro Trump, I guess you could say. I was just here for just a lot of things that he was doing. He got my vote, so let me put that out there for those of you who may be new to my channel. Uh, I voted for President Donald J. Trump for the last two presidential terms. Yes, I did. I did. And it was rooted in basically change, you all. I just wasn't happy with the circumstances of our country underneath the previous leadership, which was Biden, the Biden regime, Biden Kamala regime. I wasn't here for it. And I'm like, child, listen, we down bad. The economy, y'all think like, to me, with the way I'm seeing how the economy is today, a year ago, like that's what we thought was like bad, bad. We was like, oh my God, we down bad. We're down bad. But today, baby, it's like a year ago we were winning. And it's like, okay, it's one of those things where you be like, child, I didn't think it could get any worse until you lived long enough to see it get worse. Y'all know what I'm saying? And that's how I've been feeling. So when he got my vote, it was centered around change. I just wanted more because what was being given, child, it wasn't giving the way I needed it to, the way many American people needed it to give. So a lot of people voted how they voted centered around change, right? So that's the history, the background as far as me and, my vote and all of that, my political stance. I'm independent. Donald J. Donald Trump just happened to get my vote, but I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. So in the beginning, I talked a lot about like being here for just these executive orders, these things that he was signing, control over, underneath the immigration, things like that. Um, the whole gender situation, boys playing sports with boys, girls playing sports with girls, like all of that. I was here for all of that. I still am. As things started to unfold, there's other things that I just started to see with the administration that I'm like, and a lot of it started being centered around, like, say, how the situation was being handled with tariffs, and then these Epstein files is really what changed the game. And then I just started to see um the shift, what do they say, the veil has been lifted. Like, for me, it was like a veil being lifted. So I started to question things, and a lot of American people started to question things, but we weren't really getting the answers that we were wanting. We were kind of being redirected to different things. What do you call it? Deflection. A lot of deflection was taking place. So the more I started to see people ask questions, the more deflection I started to see. So that had me to kind of speak differently over here on this platform. And when I started to do that, a change took place with this channel as far as how my message circulated. Because now it was no longer, hey, pro Trump, pro Trump. It was more so like, hey, Trump, we have some questions. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is not always here for the questions that you have. And if you follow me on any of my channels, because I have multiple channels. My message is always, hey, we are honor students. We are lifetime learners, and we ask questions. And do not ever have someone to make you feel bad for asking questions, because smart people ask questions. We are not sheep. We are not led. We ask questions. If you have questions, seek out answers. And that's what I naturally do. I naturally do that. So the beauty about having a YouTube channel is that when I do have questions, I have a space to come to bring those questions here. And it's a space for those of you who also have questions. You can bring your questions here as well. So I started to have a lot of questions, but I wasn't really getting answers. I wasn't getting answers. And then the half-ass, or whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it an answer that was coming from the current administration, it was just like, really, like it wasn't moving me. It wasn't moving me. So I guess you could say in a nutshell, I woke the hell up. And I think a lot of people who have voted for Trump, whether they were MAGA, Republicans, whatever, a lot of people have woken up. And that became a problem. That became a problem because it's not a benefit for the powers that be for you to be awake. It's more beneficial for you to be asleep and for you to act like you don't see what's going on. They don't want you to shake up any feathers, to start talking a language that's going to have people to start questioning things. They don't want you to ask questions. They want you to just go along with the get along, be obedient, be a good little boy, good little girl, and just go with the flow. And that is what I'm seeing more. It's so apparent to me right now that that is the way that this world is set up. And I don't believe that it's just in the US. I think it's everywhere. I feel like we live in a time, and I've been feeling like this for a while, but more so than ever, probably in the last maybe 6 to 8 weeks, that We have this whole freedom of speech thing, but is it real? Like, is freedom of speech real? The First Amendment, like, is that real? Because to me, it's given that it's not real. It's just something that's written down somewhere. But yeah, it's just there because it looked cute. But really, if you F around and find out when you start trying to live by it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you think you move like it's real, but when you do that, it's just like you find out that it's not real. And so when that whole notion came to me, it's just like, hold on, chemo sabe, I started to kind of move differently because I started like feeling like, wow, like, you say that I have the legal right to say what I want to say, feel how I feel, as long as it's not embarking on anybody else's safety or whatever. But that's not what I'm seeing out here. I, Action speaks louder than words, and to me, the actions that's taking place right now, it's to the contrary. It's like, no, you freedom of speech is not real, because so many people are getting placed in situations because they spoke their mind. People losing their lives because they spoke their mind. People losing their jobs because they spoke their mind. People losing their social media outlets, their channels, their pages, because they spoke their mind. So, is the First Amendment a real thing? Like, maybe I should have titled this video that, this live that. Like, is it real or is it an illusion? It is an illusion because I don't feel like it's real. I don't feel like it's real. And I'm the type of person to where the only way I know how to move is with honesty and being me and true to me. And if I cannot move that way in an environment, I move around, meaning you won't see me, you won't hear me, because I cannot acquiesce to the bullish. Like, I can't. Since I've been covering politics, like, you all don't understand how many times I've had people just bring up the idea of me being involved in politics. And the number one reason why I say I cannot is because I'm too honest. A lot of people who are in those high positions, your politicians, your journalists, they're what some of you may or may not have heard of the term bought and paid for. That means that you're paid to say what you say, to think how you think, all of that, to feel how you feel. There's a check that comes with that. And with me, I don't move that way. I don't move that way. I say what I want, which is based on how I'm feeling at the time, how I'm thinking, all of that. There's no other person involved in that. And so, because that's how I move, I know that if I were to work for a news outlet or even represent a political party, that would be an entire problem. They would be like, let me holler. They'll stay one holler. Let me holler. We done told you, you can't do that. You can't say that. And so I know that regardless of how small my little space is here on Beyonce's internet, or is it Diddy's internet today? No matter how small my space is, it's my space. And I control the narrative. And there are a lot of people who can't say the same. And because they can't say the same, they ain't sleeping at night. They're not sleeping at night. I promise you, they're not sleeping at night. Because when you're not living right, you're not going to sleep at night. You're going to stay awake when you're not living right. It's going to show. You're not going to even come off as authentic. So I stay in my lane because I'm able to move in a manner in which I move. I'm able to speak my mind and say how I feel, regardless if it's favorable or not to one party or the other, a platform or the other. Like, it don't matter. I'm going to say how I feel. And I feel like I do a good job with looking at things from multiple angles, which is what I believe that makes my channel very unique. It's not really hard right, hard left. It's just my channel just is centered on truth. It's centered on truth. It's not red or it's not blue. It's just what are we doing? That's why I say I can let you know, hey, yeah, I voted for Trump the last 2 terms, but I can also say, you know what? Let's talk about what I'm not here for. Let's talk about what I didn't vote for. I'm able to do that as well. So this government shutdown, the thing that bothers me about it, I feel like there is more energy being spent on taunting one another, creating memes, than there is with conversations being had between adults. People are spending more time in the lab creating memes than they are in rooms having actual conversations with one another. And while that's taking place, you have millions of people, maybe hundreds of thousands, not sure the exact number right now. I do have some notes though. But there are so many people whose lives right now are in limbo and who are dependent on the decisions that need to be made between two different sides. We'll just call it Republican, Democrat. You need them to come together to make this decision. And what I'm seeing is that that's not taking place. The coming together part, that's not taking place. But what is taking place is the creativity with the memes. Oh, they real. Everybody then became content creators. The politicians are now content creators. Y'all remember we were seeing the rappers and the actors and actresses becoming content creators. Everybody trying to become a content creator right now, including the politicians. They got the OG content creators beat when it comes to these memes out here. But meanwhile, you got people who are sitting and waiting for updates pertaining to their job situations. You got people hoping and praying that they will get a paycheck in a week. Because right now we have entered into week 2. Everybody may not get a check on the 15th. Everybody may not get a check on the 15th. And I don't like that. I don't like that these people who are out here creating memes, we're going to call them meme wars. They're having meme wars. They're still collecting checks. See, the people who out here still playing games, they still getting a deposit on the 1st, the 15th, the 30th, the 31st, whatever day of the month. They're still getting their deposit. So it's easy for you to have a key when you know your money isn't on the line. Really think about that. Do you think that these people who are employed by TSA, the air traffic controllers, the people who work at the state parks, do you think as these memes are circulating around, do you think they're having a kiki, they're laughing? Like, really think about it, you all, because a lot of us aren't directly impacted by this government shutdown. But here's the thing, it will impact us indirectly. So what the direct impact is those who aren't going to get a paycheck. We're going to say that's the direct impact. The indirect impact is those of us who will be impacted because they didn't get a paycheck. For example, they're already reporting that at airports, everybody ain't at work. Everybody's not at work. Air traffic controllers, y'all, keep in mind, as you are traveling, while these planes are in the air, there is not always someone, an air traffic controller, watching the skies. They were already short-staffed pre-government shutdown. They were already short-staffed pre-government shutdown. So now this has taken it to a whole nother level to where the little few that they did have They ain't even at work. They're not even at work. So I learned this morning as I was preparing for this live that there are planes in the sky that are not being guided and communicated to by the air traffic control. I learned that pilots, they're trained to land planes and do this solo dolo in the event there is no air traffic controller to guide them. So that is what's taking place right now. Some of y'all probably didn't know that. I just got back in town Thursday from being away out of state. So before I left on the Saturday, the government was open. When I returned, the government was shut down. But I talked about it on the last live I did, which was prior to me traveling. I mentioned, hey, I'm going to be traveling. If the government shuts down Tuesday, if they don't come to an agreement when I return, I'll be coming back in the midst of the whole shutdown. So be mindful of this as you are traveling, as you are engaging and interacting with people in these environments where there are federal workers. Because these people right now are working jobs knowing that there is no guarantee that on payday they will have a deposit, and they are still expected to show up and do their job as normal. So I think about all of that when I see memes and hear these jabs from each side that they throw on one another, and as they have their kiki, because the people who are impacted, they're not having a kiki. How do you have a kiki when you still have bills and responsibilities? And just because it's all across the news, everybody know it's a government shutdown, that doesn't mean that the power bill is not going to send you that notice saying, hey, lights off if this bill ain't paid by this. That doesn't mean that. The phone bill ain't sending you a notice saying, hey, yeah, you better place that last call at 12 o'clock noon, because after, listen, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is the issue that I'm talking about, and this is what I do on this channel. I advocate for the people who are impacted by a lot of this bullish that's taking place, because so often people become unfazed by stuff because they like, like it ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't impacting me. But I don't think that way. And I think it's just how I'm built. I have the ability to see things from different people's point of view. And much of what I talk about on this channel, you all, it's me talking and advocating for other groups of people, people who are in a different social economic class that I am. But I still can see when somebody is struggling. I still know struggle. I've still gone through things. I've lived life. So just because I may not be in a particular situation at the time, it doesn't mean that I never was there. How about that? It doesn't mean I was never there. And sometimes people forget where they came from. They've been in certain positions, but now they in a whole nother position, and they act like they ain't never been in that position that said person over there is in. You see, y'all ever know some people, y'all ever see some people that get brand new, like I'm talking about new, to where like you like play it. You know I know you, right? I remember when you used to be, you used to always be bugging the hell out, asking me for, you know what I'm saying? You got it's, but y'all ever notice it be them people right there who be the main ones acting like they don't understand something, they don't get it, when they need to be the first one advocating, hollering, I understand, I'm with you, let's do this. But then be the ones, y'all. Then be the ones. And it's sad. It is so sad, but we see it so often. We see it so often where people they get to another place in life, and it's just like They don't turn around to reach out their hand to help the next person. They just keep looking forward. They never stop to turn, to look behind them or even to the right or the left, because they just got their hand out waiting for somebody to continue to pull them along the way, but they don't reach back to pull somebody else up. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how you block your blessings, when you don't pay it forward. That putting your hand back and pulling somebody else up, that's paying it forward. Because 9 times out of 10, that's how you got to where you are. See, the way this life is set up, we can't get anywhere by ourselves. Like, it's just not the way life is set up. We're built to need one another. And people act like that's not a thing, like that's not true. Like, we actually legit need one another. You have to communicate with one another. You have to be able to play well in the sandbox with one another, because you will fail. You can't do this thing called life by yourself. That's why they got a yin and a yang, negative and positive, male, female. Y'all, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a reason behind all of this. The right needs the left, but people running around acting like they can do it by themselves. People are running around acting like they can do it by themselves. Where y'all think the saying come from? It takes teamwork to make the dream work. Like, y'all, that's real. That is real. Like, we need one another. And successful people understand that. Successful people understand that you can't do it by yourself. I was just talking to a friend over the weekend, another, she does content as well. And she's just trying to do everything by herself. She got to one thing and she's like, I don't even want to do this. Well, why don't you want to do it? Because I just don't want to. Is that me just being lazy? And she's like someone like your least laziest person ever, always working. And I'm like, no, it's not laziness. It's not laziness. It's you recognizing that you need help and that you need somebody else and that you need to find someone who knows more than you. Because we don't know it all. I don't know it all. There's always somebody who knows more than you. That's a job for that person. Seek out that person who knows more than you to say, hey, I'm willing to pay you to bless you for your services, your gifts, because I need what you got. You see what I'm saying? That's how this world works, y'all. Y'all see, like, this is how it keeps going. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself, because you will be in like a hamster wheel spinning if you think you can. And you know who gets this and who truly understands this? The wealthy, the people who got the most money, because they understand what it is to surround themselves by people who know more than them. They understand that. They know that like, I ain't got all the answers. But goddamn, I can recognize when somebody do got some answers. So let me go over here and holler at them and see if I can bring them on my team. Because they can strengthen this little thing, this little situation I got over here, because they know more than what I know. See, that's the key. And people don't understand that. You got to be able to have an eye to recognize when somebody knows more than you do and appreciate that. And it ain't nothing about being intimidated. You're smart, the fact that you recognize that they know more than you. Because that's going to take you to a whole nother level when you bring them onto your team. You work together. You work together. So it's not about trying to do it by yourself or feeling like, oh, I'm going to look lazy or inadequate if I go seek out help. No, it's quite the opposite. When you don't seek out help, you look dumb and slow. Because what I said to my friend, I said, show me a successful person, a person that's really get into it, who did it by themselves. Mm-mm. Each one teach one. You're right, Virtuous. Show me one successful person who did it by themselves. Presidents. You think they in that White House, they in there making them all them decisions, whether you think they're good or bad by themselves? Like, really think about it. You think they in there making them decisions by themselves? I'm gonna let you know they're not. They have a team of people around them. They have people who specialize in different things, and they all come to the table, go to meet in the boardroom, and they talk about these things, these ideas. Everybody comes together. You know what they say, a meeting of the minds. Have a meeting of the minds. That's you bringing everybody together with ideas. That's how you get to greatness. You're open to hearing from different people, different point of views, fresh set of eyes. It makes a difference because so often people are just so stuck in just doing things the old way or how they've been doing it, and they're not open for doing things different. And that's where people get in trouble and where we become stagnant when we're like, I don't want change. I just don't. Well, why? I just don't. I just want to keep it the way it is. And it's centered around comfort and fear. So many people are fearful of change. It just makes them uncomfortable. And people who are like that, they're stagnant. You don't see them grow. Good morning, Dr. J. You don't see people like that grow because you can't grow in fear. You cannot grow in fear. Anyone who's ever achieved anything, you think that they didn't experience fear? I've achieved a lot of things in life. You think I haven't experienced fear? Sure I have. But I didn't allow it to have me to not make a move. No. I had to overcome that fear because that's that breakthrough. That's when greatness takes place. You overcome it. You develop a mindset that all things work for me in my favor. What's for me is for me. Everything is in the mind. Everything is in the mind. Walk by faith, not by sight. Because if we just go off of sight, child, we all be out here depressed. Like, really think about it. If we literally just went off of sight, how would you be feeling today? If you just went off sight? Because right now, the sight, what it's giving in the USA, right now, more than ever, we have to go off of faith. We have to reprogram our minds. Because when we go off of faith and we reprogram our minds, it changes actually what we start to see in the physical. It starts here. So if we change how we think here, what's showing up in the 3D, 2D, 5D, whatever D you want to call it, it changes. It starts here. A lot of people don't know that. Mind over matter. We got to reprogram our mind. We have to work on that daily, including myself. Like we work on that daily. And I've been doing that more lately than before because it's so much that's going on in the physical to where it's just like I can't get caught up in that. So I have to focus on my mind and the way I want things to be, the way I want to see them. You got to do that. That's the only way you're going to get through the things that we're experiencing right now. You have to do that. That goes into the whole idea of protecting your mental health, protecting your peace. Only you could do that. There are some things in life that you can turn to somebody and they can kind of, somebody can give you some money, they can give you a helping hand. But a lot of life is centered on just our thought process. And only we can do that. Only we can change that. We have to do the work. Somebody can plant a seed and say, hey, this is what I feel like you need to do. But it's up to you to implement those things, to implement the idea of thinking positively, thinking all things happen to me in my favor. All things happen to me in my favor. Think that, regardless of what you're seeing, all things happen to me in my favor. Because the more you tell yourself and you think that, that's the way things show up for you. Because you don't, it's not even an option for things to go any other way. It's not an option. You have to be successful. You have to win because you have a winning mindset. You think winners in life walk around with loser mindsets, thinking that they're failures and that they're going to lose, and uh, they feel defeated and all that? No, that is not a winning mindset. A winning mindset is claiming it. How many of you ever like entering into a situation where you already had it in your mind that I got this? Like you already just went into the room, entered the conversation with already that mindset. And then while you were in the situation, you feeling good about your life, like you didn't killed it, like because it started with the mindset you had when you entered into the chat, when you entered into the room, when you entered into the experience. It's energy because you already felt like you had already completed the mission. You already completed it. Like you got to think before you enter into the mission, it's done. It already worked out the way you want it to work out. You already won. It's done. Almost like I guess you could say like a deja vu. Think about it to where it's already happened. Now you're about to do it, but it's just deja vu because it already happened. You already know what the outcome is. You see what I'm saying? This is how powerful the mind is and how it works. You claim it. That goes into the whole you claim it. You claim it. You're claiming your success. You're claiming that you've already won. Because if you claimed it, like it is what it is, like I already won. Okay. Well, you say it should be up there at Tuesday. All right, then I'm coming. Already there. Already won. You already know. And so it's such a good feeling to where it's just like, wow, like you just want to keep doing that and implementing that over and over again because it makes a difference. It takes away from feeling nervousness, all of that. Like, try it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, try it. Had a mindset already that you done already been there, done that. It's already worked out for you. Done data. Say if you got a job interview coming up. Perfect example. You apply for a job. So many people are unemployed right now. I think they said for the month of September, about 33,000 people, jobs were lost or something like that. It basically went down versus up. So, job market. Before going into that interview, think about how that interview is going to go, how you want it to go, what you want to say, what they will say back to you, how they're going to receive your responses, all of that. Think about all as granular, as detailed as you can get. Think about that. Think about how you're going to feel. Because as you're thinking about these things, you have to feel it because this is all too goes into like manifestation. You have to feel it. So it's heavy in the feelings, in the emotions. So as you're thinking about the outcome, think about the feeling associated with the outcome. Do all of this before going to that interview, before getting on that Teams call, however you're doing the interview. Think about all of that. Watch and see if it plays out just like that. Try it and test it because it's like you're already entering into the environment already with a certain energy. You're already entering it. So you're not even nervous. Like what I'm telling you, you're not even nervous because you've already played out. Remember, I said it's like deja vu to where you're about to do it, but you done already done it. The mind, you've already done it in the mind. You've already felt it. So now when you're about to go physically do it, it's just like, oh, okay, been there, done that. You feeling good about life. You're just waiting for the results to turn out the way you already know they're going to turn out. You see what I'm saying? Mind over matter. You just really have to understand. What's up, Tim? Good morning. How strong and powerful the mind is. And a lot of people don't really understand that, or they downplay that. But when you know, you know. Like the videos you come on in. When you know. Work on your mind and how you view things, because it can make the world of a difference on your experiences. How you experience things, how people experience you, all of that. We have more control than what we led ourselves to believe. Like, we have all the control, really. Just because something happened a certain way for one person, it doesn't mean that that's how it's going to happen for you. You can have a completely different experience just because your mind and how you thought about something, how you approached it was different. You see? It makes a difference. It makes a difference. So right now, back to with this whole government shutdown, there are a lot of people's lives that are impacted by this. And it's a lot of unknown for people. They're like, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. These things that I'm saying right now concerning the mind and how we have to think. This is a perfect time for people who are impacted by this government shutdown with the whole unknown thing. It's a perfect time to implement these things, to rewire your brain, to think about the positive outcome that you want to see come of this. Because outside of that, we don't have control over what somebody does. We don't have control over what the Democrats do or the Republicans. We only have control over ourselves and how we move, how we think, how we feel. So you have to control what you can control. You have to protect your peace and your mental health. You got to do what you can. And there are things you can do. You can meditate. You can reprogram your mind by thinking positive. You can think about the end result, like all those things. Whatever it is that you want, however you want it to work out, think about that. Put your thoughts into that. Think about how you want the outcome to be. That's where you need to focus. Tell yourself all things work in my favor. All things work in my favor. Just tell yourself that. Regardless of what you visually, what you see, even what you hear, still tell yourself all things work out in my favor. Because by you doing that and programming your brain to think that that is what's going to happen, that regardless of what you see or what you're hearing, all things will work out in your favor. What do they say? Energy flows where attention goes. So when you think positive, that's where the energy will flow. You have positive energy. And right now, with Everything that's going on with just the economy, politics, I truly feel like that's all that I have to lean in on is just spiritual faith. Because these things that are taking place with the government is out of our control, as far as us going and trying to do something about it, that's out of our control. But what's in our control is how we think and how we feel. That's energy. Thoughts become things. That's so real. Thoughts become things. We have to think more about the outcomes that we want. We have to claim it. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Think about the outcome. Think about getting your paycheck when you need it. Think about, regardless of what's going on, you still been able to stay afloat, still have a roof over your head, food on the table, still have your bills paid, still receive blessings, all of that. Because why? All things work out in my favor. That's what you tell yourself. All things work out in my favor. Mindset. Purple Olive says, I won't get my paycheck. Tell yourself regularly, all things work out in my favor. All things work out in my favor. Because by sight, there's no paycheck. By sight, there is no paycheck. But when we lean into faith, we tell ourselves all things work out in my favor. That's channeling the energy for things to work out for you. It's a very sad situation what's going on right now. Very disheartening. I don't like it. Um, yes, Purple Olive. Keep your faith in the Lord because that's all we have to lean in right now. Like that's all we got. Like you have to find something to believe in that's just bigger than you, bigger than man. Like these are the times we're in. Like you have to find something to believe in. That's the only thing that's going to get you through whatever that is. You got to find something to believe in. And the times that we're living in right now is that we have to lean into faith more so than ever before because man disappoints. Man has been a big disappointment. Man has been a big disappointment. So we have to lean in on faith. We have to start leaning in on faith more so than man because I feel like believe Tim says, as a collective, we've been putting more weight into man and not enough into faith, into a higher power. And we got to shift that. We got to take away all that we've been putting in man. Remember I said, oh, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Like we need to change. He can be the one to change. But that's not true. It's not him. It's bigger than him. It's not him. So I have to shift. I had to change my mindset and say, okay, let me shift away from him, shift away a person being a savior and turn to spirituality and look for saving from there. Because that's the only place we can, that really you all think about it, like the way they're fighting right now, in the political realm, do you really even see them even coming to an agreement anytime soon on anything? Like really think about it because I don't. They're not even, I think the Republicans, I think they're on vacation or something. They're not even in the same rooms with each other right now. So how are we getting coming to a place to where everybody can come and have a conversation if you're not even coming into the room? Like, come on now. That's what I'm like, right now it's so evident that it's bigger than man, to where man is not going to be the one to fix this. It's going to have to be a higher power that we have to lean in on. An energetic change. It's going to have to be a shift, a conscious shift, an energetic shift that's going to have to take place, because it's not going to be man. As I say, man disappoints, and we're seeing the disappointment every day from both sides. I personally don't feel like we're dealing with a situation right now where one side is right and one side is wrong, because both sides feel strongly about how they feel and can have a compelling argument. So who's right? Who's right? It's bigger than this. Right now, time, it's so hard to where I just feel like as a country, as a nation, we all need to get to together, bow our heads in prayer. There's strength in numbers. We need a whole entire energetic shift, because I feel like with the energetic shift, it's going to change just how everybody just moves. It's going to open up everybody's mind to where they're going to finally start to see things from other people's point of view. That's where that energetic shift comes in, to where it's just like, wow, like you're able to see things differently than you were able to see before. You're able to hear what you weren't hearing before. That's because you had that shift, that energetic shift. That is what we need. That's the prayer. That's the prayer for our nation, for our country, for our world, to have an energetic shift. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. The young people, the people in their 20s coming out of college, they're going through it. Young people who are excited about life, excited about entering to the workforce. You know, you go to college. I have a son, he's a junior in college. You walk across that stage, you have these thoughts and these dreams of what life will be like for you as a result of your hard work and discipline. You're told that the sky is the limit. You have the world in the palm of your hands if you do this. If you get your education, if you get a degree, if you stay the course, if you don't quit, if you don't drop out. You're told these things. I was told those things. How many of you were told those things? So you're like, bet, sign me up. I'm about to get this education. This education is likely to have me in debt for the rest of my life, but I'm about to get it because you're saying this is the only way to get to it. That the probability of me living the life of comfort that I want to live will be greatly increased if I go this route. Like, this is what people have been told. I was told that. So the young people today, they're feeling a certain type of way because they did what was told of them. They got this education, they stayed the course, got good grades, applied for jobs, got prepared for interviews, and they are not getting callbacks. They are not getting follow-up emails. They're getting ghosted. They're feeling defeated. They're questioning their life decisions. I know the feeling. I've been laid off 2 times in my career. 2011 and 2003, I believe, was the first one. 2003, the market really wasn't that bad. So just as quick as I was laid off, I got a job probably by the time my first unemployment check hit. But in 2011, I was unemployed for 1 year. I had multiple degrees, work experience, and much like these young people, I'm questioning, like, what is the problem? I have the education. What's the problem? Why can't I get a job? That's how hard things are right now. Employers are slow to fire and slow to hire in a lot of industries. Not all industries, but it seems like most industries. Employers are now interested in just bringing on people with experience. The young people are like, okay, I just got out of college. I don't have experience. I got education, but I don't have work experience. Give me a chance. But they're also competing against people who do have the work experience coupled with education, and some that don't have education. So you have some employers to where they, the education really isn't that important to them. It depends on the hiring person, if whether or not education is important or not. Because you can go into some work environments to where they're heavy on higher education. And then you can go into another work environment, same industry, and they're more focused on work experience. I've seen it go both ways. It just depends on who you're in front of. If you're in front of someone, if you're interviewing with someone who's heavy into education, or if you're interviewing with someone who's heavy into work experience, it can go either way. So you have all these young people who are now out of college who have been looking for work for a year or more, and they can't land a job. And they're confused. They're upset, they're sad, they're depressed, they're back home with mom and dad. Life just isn't what they thought it would be as an adult. They're like, what is this? What is this? Ain't nobody told me nothing, and it's sad because there are so many of them who feel this way, who are in this situation, to where it's just like, is this going to be a new norm? Is this going to be a new norm? Because they said, I think for the first time since like the early 2000s, there have been this number of college grads who are unemployed. Like right now, believe you all, not college grads, I think, are employed right now more so than college grads. Like, the dramatic change is with the college grads, not the anybody else. It's the college grads. Where everybody else is probably about the same, however, job rate, whatever. But with college grads, like, it's a big increase in the number of college grads who are unemployed right now. With all types of degrees, education. What I'm seeing is that, for the most part, like the fields that's not as impacted is probably going to be like your tech field, and medical, like nursing and stuff, nurses. But like all the other fields, they're all in the same boat to where they're spending their day hanging out on LinkedIn, just trying to network and spread the word that they're in the looking for jobs. And many of them have even resulted into like part-time jobs, um, just any type of job. And they're still like, yo, like, I still can't get a job because me with no experience, I'm going up against people with experience. Because they said right now there are more people without jobs than there are jobs available. I'll repeat, there are more people today in the US who are unemployed than there are available jobs. Then you have to think about to where it's bigger than, okay, just getting a job. You need a job that's going to pay your bills. For example, Taco Bell may be hiring, but working at Taco Bell will not pay your bills. See what I'm saying? So it has to make sense, especially for someone who went and got higher education. It has to make sense, right? You can't just say, oh, well, there's jobs, go work at Taco Bell. Well, yes, that is a job, but you're also trying to make sense of it to where you need to work a job that's going to sustain your life to pay your bills. Where can you live and pay bills on minimum wage? Where can you live? You can't go live somewhere alone and work a job, a fast food job that's paying minimum wage, and it's going to pay your rent, your car note, your utilities, buy groceries. You see what I'm saying? So it has to make sense. So that's why this situation is so bad, is because it's bigger than even a job being available. We still have to drill down into what type of jobs are available. Are they jobs that can pay the bills for the average American person? There is not an influx in those type of jobs. So for the young people out here who are just entering into life, I do feel for them, because not only do they have bills like a next person, they now also have this student loan debt that they have to pay back. And back when I was in school, they was giving you maybe about 6 months post graduation before they start kind of sending you that bill to start paying back your student loans. I don't know how they moving today with that, but a lot of young people, they've been unemployed for longer than 6 months. So that bill could very much so be coming in the mail, but they don't have a job. They can't start back paying on that student loan bill. And earlier this year on this channel, I talked about student loans, the debt, Cinco de Mayo, which was May 5th, being the day that the Trump administration was like, yo, you need to start paying on your student loans, all of that. I communicated that, put out there the numbers and such, like all of that. I reported on all of that. It was a lot of information. I reported on it on this channel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I bring a lot of updates pertaining to the U.S. politics and the changes in our government. So you got people in all age groups who are down bad, who are down bad. It's very unfortunate. And the best that we can do right now is to try to keep a positive mindset, to stay lifted in prayer, to move by faith and not by sight. That's going to be the best. You may think it's easier said than done, but what do you have to lose than to practice it, to try it? Start today. Start today telling yourself all things happen in my favor. All things happen in my favor. Regardless of what you're seeing, regardless of what you're hearing, still tell yourself all things happen in my favor. And sit back and watch and see how things change. Try it and test it. You have to do it. All things work in my favor because it's a lot of doom and gloom out here. And we can get caught up in that. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Everything is rooted in our mindset. We have to protect our mental health because when this breaks down, the body breaks down. Everything else breaks down when this breaks down. So we have to work to keep this strong. Those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Chic. My background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which means that I can be a therapist, a psychologist. Like I can do all of that if I choose to get my license, activate my license and practice. But yes, so that's what my education is in. But I like content creation, so I like to come on the internet and talk to people, encourage people with my words, opposed to just having you book an appointment and lay on the couch and just tell me why you're depressed. That is no longer the way that I want to serve people, not in that type of setting. I'd rather do it in this setting or just random, just coming in contact with people and just having conversations with people. I just like to help people. That is my calling, my God, my gift is to help people, to teach, to lead, to encourage, all of those things. That is what I'm here to do. So that is what I do on this channel as well as my other channels. I have multiple channels. I have multiple channels. This is a channel I spend um, most of my time on. But I do got some other stuff going on as well. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for me sharing that information. Who knows? Maybe I'll start to um, share some links to the other things that I have going on these lives. But it's centered around programming. We have to change our mindset. We have to change our mindset. Start today. No better time than today, right? Start today. Today, we're going to change our mindset. All things happen in my favor. All things happen in my favor. Just tell yourself that. Start today. All things happen in my favor. All things happen in my favor. As I say, we need a universal energetic change. Everyone needs to lift their vibration. The world needs to lift their vibration. Like everyone collectively. Can you all imagine like if everyone at the same time just stopped what they were doing and we just kind of started to focus on the positive, focus on love, how the change, what type of change we'd have, because I really believe that it would make a difference because we are definitely in need of change. We're definitely in need of change. Today we are day 7 of the government shutdown. The record is 35 days, which was under President Donald Trump's first term. The 2018-2019 government shutdown. Uh, right now, it's looking like the shutdown is again going by sight. It's looking like this shutdown is going to be here for a little bit, for a little bit. But in the meantime, in between time, we just got to think about the outcome that we want. What's the outcome you want to see from all of this? Just life, period. Just think about the outcome for anything. Anything that you want, just think about the outcome. Think about the outcome. Think about the emotion associated with the outcome. Feel that. Think about it and feel it as though it's real, like it's already happened. You got to do that. Thoughts become things. And just watch. Just sit back and watch the shift. Sit back and watch the shift. It works just like that. Hey, Dr. J, good morning. He said, thanks for speaking the truth. Thank you so much. It works just like that. I like to stay over here. It's the little things. I'm moved by the little things, you all. I'm just very simple. I'm moved by the little things, just the little things. It's the little things for me. And a lot of times, you all, it's just that. It's just the little things. And people make things so much bigger than what they need to be. Just by simply just focusing on love, thinking about love, feeling love. That can make the world of a difference. And it don't cost you a thing. When you know, you know. When you know, you know. Listen, y'all, I'll be over here giving y'all free game. I told y'all I could be charging y'all hourly for this. But I come out here because I just like to share information and just no strings attached. I just be asking for a share, a subscribe. Like y'all, it be really the little things. It really do. It really do. Uh, but yeah, it's just, life is what you make it. So today, honor students, I affectionately refer to my subscribers as honor students because we are lifetime learners. And today's lesson for the day is to focus just on the small things. Focus on love. Focus on doing something nice. Doing something nice for your neighbor, for somebody else. Yeah, I went to a concert. So I traveled last week. Was on vacation with my husband. Spent the week. I was in Carlsbad, California, San Diego, Oceanside. Very lovely anniversary trip. Came back on Friday. Went to a concert. I live here in Atlanta. I saw Maxwell, the singer Maxwell, in concert. And before I went to my seat, I went to the restroom. And after washing my hands, there was a young lady, and she was so distressed. I guess they have these little, machine things. I'd never seen them before at a venue, like the little feminine products, little box thing where you can get, free feminine products and stuff out of there. And the machine, it wasn't working, and she's just trying to shake it and get one out, and it was not working. So I'm like, what's going on? So she was like, oh, I need to get something out. It's not coming out. And I'd never used a machine before. And, I had some things on me. So, she's just trying to, work with the machine, to try to shake it and to get one of the little feminine products out. So while she's doing that, I'm just going in my purse, and I pull out, I had a product for her, and I was like, here you go. And y'all, that was just like the best thing ever for this woman. She just was just like, y'all, she looked like I probably gave her $100 bill when I handed her the product, and I'm like, here you go. And she's just like, oh my God, and for me, it was just like, oh, well, I had it, just in case, but here, like, you clearly need it. Me, I just had it, some extra things, just in case, because I'm kind of one of those type of people. I have some stuff, just in case. Even though my daughter tell me I be having stuff that don't nobody need or want. I need to tell her this story because somebody needed and wanted what I had. But I was able to bless her and help her in her time where she was in need. Remember, it's at the start of a concert, and therefore she wouldn't have to be worried about just not having something and sitting through and so that's just what it's about, y'all. It's the little things. It's just little things. Whatever you can do to just make somebody's day that can just help them out or make things just a little bit easier. just a little bit. Who knows what that lady had going on? That was just probably something that was just the icing on the cake. But for me, it's just, just helping out how I can. And that's just um, what gets me through. That's what gets me through. Just knowing that just my little words, my little laugh, my little smile, any little thing can just make the world of a difference for the next person. Uh, and that's what it's about. And I think each and every one of us have that ability to do that if we so choose. If we so choose. Just, lend a helping hand, pay it forward. Remember where you came from, humble beginnings. Think about those times when you were in need, when you wish someone would have been able to come through for you in a way that you're now capable of coming through for someone else. How about that? How about that? You been in a place today where you can help somebody who's in a place where you once were. You letting them know that you were there and you understand. Because a lot of times people see you and meet, where you're at today, and they just can't imagine you being anywhere else. You need to let them know. I always encourage people, share your testimony, because you never know who needs to hear it. Because so often, like, we see people, we see them like where they are today. And you just can't even imagine them being like broke, living in a car. Like, you just can't even imagine any of that. Because you're like, how, Sway? But everybody has a story. And I encourage you all to share your story and be open to listening to the next person's story, because it can encourage someone. It can have someone to feel and believe that their situation is just that, temporary. Because sometimes when we go through things, we feel like it's going to last forever. How many of you ever experienced something, you just feel like, oh my God, you just feel like you're in that, it's just not, you're going to be in that situation forever. Like, you just don't see a way out. You're like, and then like today you think back and you be like, oh my God, I remember. And I was just like, I thought I never was going to get through that. And then you see where you are today doing great things. But at that time, you were just like, you didn't see a way out. You just thought like, oh my God, I'm just stuck. There's no way out. I'm ready to end it all. Like, how many of you all had those moments where you felt like I'm about to just take me, Lord, just take me now. Just take me now. Because you, like, when you look to your right, your left, the front, and the back, you just didn't see no way out. You didn't feel no way out. You felt defeated. And then there was this change. There was this shift. And then now today, you're doing well. You're doing better. And you think back to those days, those moments, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, that was my situation. I can't believe that I was thinking like that. I was even moving like that. How many of you have shifted so far from where you were before in life to where today, where you are, you're in awe and amazement at who you are, who you've become? Because yesterday, or had people known that person you were, they wouldn't want to have nothing to do with you. They wouldn't want to have nothing to do with you. They can't even imagine that even being you. But you know your story, and I still encourage you all to share your story. Don't be embarrassed about it, because it's your testimony. We all have a testimony. Mom always say, you live long enough, you're going to experience some things. And this year will be 45 years of me living and experiencing some things. This is my birthday month, October. I'm claiming greatness for this month of October. My birthday is October 25th. I am a Scorpio, naturally intuitive. So, but yeah, like, I've lived long enough to experience some things, and guess what? I'm going to continue to experience some things as I continue to live. And as I experience some things, I share those things. I talk about those experiences in hopes that it can motivate, encourage, uplift the next person, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. I've arrived. Hopefully, I won't lose reception. I am in a parking garage. So I'll probably go ahead and end this live. You all make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you know when I go live. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Car Chronicles, where we talk all things politics on my ride into the office. I do Car Chronicles a couple of days a week, typically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when I drive into my office. So if you are interested in hearing what I have to say centered around politics and what's going on in these American streets, I would love to have you. Please join the tribe, become a part of, just become an honor student. How about that? How about that? Become an honor student. And that just simply is you just subscribing to the channel, or if you want to become a political honor student, you can become a member for $2.99, and your name will show up in color, and um, you'll have priority when it comes to my comment, reading your comments and things like that. So basically, you jump to the front of the line because sometimes it can get crazy in here in my chat. YouTube has been kind of messing with my channel lately because, as I started out by saying, I've recently kind of changed the way I speak on politics, and YouTube's not really here for that. So they don't really circulate my content the way they used to. But it's okay because at the end of the day, I'm going to still, speak my truth because that's all I know how to do. But thank you so much. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Go out into the world, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Like attracts like. Each one teach one. Be nice. Do unto others as you want done unto you. How about that? Y'all, it's the little things. It's the little things that many of you probably heard growing up. Like, I still live by those things and I still repeat those things because that's truly what it's about. It's the little things. Be love. Show love. Tim says peace and love. Dee Dee said too many people refuse to take any jobs they can get. Too many want the high level jobs and refuse entry level jobs. We're living in times to where you can't think that way anymore, Dee Dee. You're right. You can't just think that you're above something. Humble beginnings, crawling before you walk. All of those things. But with that being said, I thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment on the video. Let me know, how are you feeling about the government shutdown, the climate um, of the world, all of those things. Just let me know. Let's talk about it. How's your mental health? Are you good? Are you good? Check on someone. Check on your loved ones. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you know when I go live. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll catch you on the next broadcast. If you missed this live, please be a part of the replay gang. Drop me a comment. Let me know how you feeling out here. Yeah, and I'll catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.